It's my first time up here. Just having had a look down on the pitch, it's quite interesting to how far back you are. But the way this stand's been designed, it's a bit like the south stand. It's quite a steep rake, which means that even if you're right back here in the west stand, you've still got a fantastic view of the pitch.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal view from up here, not least of the pitch, but the surrounding area as well.
Yeah, a touch of vertigo here. No barriers, no handrails or anything like that. But I just looked out the back parapet there. You can see Dundee, you can see all across Bristol and the hills, and it just gives you a feeling for how high up we are.
Rest assured the fans will have safety rails and enclosure once it is finally complete. When are we looking at the final completion towards?
July 2016, so same real pattern as we had in the last close season. When we get to the end of this current football and rugby season, then it's all hands to the deck again to get that finishing done inside the stand. This will all be up by then with seats in by the time we get to the end of the season, but of course plenty of finishing to be done inside again.
You mentioned looking down on the south stand. I know that when everyone first saw the south stand rising, it was enormous. It was seen as a giant amongst the other stands, and now that looks like the baby.
It does. Well, that's the first time I've seen the roof since I think an EasyJet flight a couple of months ago back from Naples. But yeah, again, it's all about scale. And I've said before, you can look at a set of drawings and it's hard to imagine it until it starts coming out of the ground. But I think over this next couple of months, as these concrete seating decks go in and the true scale of this stand comes up, fans are going to get a real first glimpse of what Ashton Gate's going to be in the future.
Well, we've started at the very top. Let's take a peek on down through the stands.
Okay, let's go.
So we're standing up on this open concourse. It is another great space, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it's all part of this getting 11,000 people or 11,000 people in the West Stand when we're full on match day, and we think this will be a very popular space because, as we saw when we were up in the seating deck, the view is absolutely spectacular from up there.
So for fans to envisage it, the South Stand concourse that is just on ground floor, effectively this big West Stand will have two concourse levels.
Absolutely, a smaller one up here because naturally it's serving a smaller seating deck, and then the one down below on the ground floor, which I guess we'll see in a little bit, is just vast in comparison with the South Stand. Yeah. This is I suppose the main corporate area. This is where all of our club seat debenture seat holders will come on match day. And of course on non-match day it's a huge conference and dining space as well. In here we take 1,000 people seated. As you can see, there are no columns. That's the way that it was designed, so that it would meet all needs. And our objective is to fill this 350 days a year.
And we talk a lot about match day, but of course it is all about non-match day as well. It's equally important in terms of driving revenue of this asset.
It is. It's the modern era of football and rugby, I guess. In that, our watchword has been, if we go back 2.5 years, financial sustainability. This stadium is not only here to provide a fantastic theatre for match day, but it's also about that financial sustainability. And the reality is that we've got to make this asset sweat every day, every week, throughout the year. This is the middle of the West Stand here, so off to my right will be the 18 corporate boxes we're having built, and I'm stood on the seating terrace which comes outside of those boxes, fully glass fronted, take 12 people, and delighted to say that they're all sold for the first season that they'll be here.
And you can understand why when you look out on the pitch. It is a fantastic view from here.
It is, yeah. We've come down from the heady heights, of course, further back in the West Stand, and here you get an absolutely phenomenal view. You can see the whole game playing out in front of you, and I really think people are going to love it up here.
Of course, the West Stand isn't complete in terms of lengthwise yet, so we can see a number of the boxes rolling out behind you, but it should be completed towards the end of January in terms of lengthwise.
Yeah, well, actually, I think that the steel work should be up in the next couple of weeks. I think the rest of the steel rakers are going to follow quickly in behind that. So, yeah, end of January, sort of middle of February, then we should see the completed shell, concrete and steel of this stand.
And then we'll really be able to see them take shape as the glass and all the concessions get fitted through.
They will. I mean, once the structure's up, as everybody saw with the South Stand, then the internal fit out starts in earnest, and then things start to happen pretty quickly.
Okay, well, we've made it safely back down onto terra firma. Just talk us through this space, because this is still, it just makes you see how huge everything is.
Yeah, we're back now down on the ground concourse, not quite inside it. We just stood outside the perimeter here. Where I'm stood will be on match days a pedestrian walkway all the way along the back of the West Stand, so no cars parked here. And I think it's going to be a fantastic space. We're going to landscape the stream that's behind us. So people will be able to mill around here, providing the weather's fine, of course, before moving into our new concourse.
The weather's always fine, of course, in Bristol. The entrance at the moment, obviously this year we have to remind people we are halfway through, or just over halfway through this build, and there are various issues with trying to use an operating stadium whilst it's being constructed, not least that we don't have the proper entrance, foyer receptions, all of that. How much of a challenge has that been?
It's been an enormous challenge, and I mean, one doesn't make a lot of it because you just got to get on with the job and you've got to get it done. But since about last April, all the way through the summer, the staff in the club and at the stadium were literally scattered all over Bristol. There were no offices, and so to keep the thing going whilst all that was happening is a great testament to their hard work. It's less of a challenge as we move through after Christmas. All the people here are in their offices now. They're in the right place. We've got, storerooms to put things in for the first time. So I'm hoping that this summer will be slightly less stressful for all concerned.